Hey guys, this is Jeremy from 78 Productions. I'm here with Chip. Chip, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you're integrated with the web.
Well, like Jeremy said, I am Chip Desart. I'm here from the Baltimore area in Maryland, and I am all about web and technology. And I've been a church AV leader, just a tech guy, but really into video and into online video. That's my real passion.
Yeah, very cool. And so I've gotten to know Chip and just all the different things that he's been doing with video. And let me just say that what we're going to do today is just scratching the surface of the questions that I've had for him and the different things. So, first of all, I think that the YouTube is coming out with a new design, so I want you to describe that here in a second. But also, I think that church is just now starting to understand the power of what YouTube can be for them, whether it's on their blog or in their church, all these different things. So, what do you feel like the church should do with YouTube, and maybe a little comments about the new design coming out?
Yeah. Well, the new design, it is launched really first week in June. Well, actually, it's forced launch design the
Hmm.
first week in June, but it's been around for a few months. So I think it's excellent. At first, I was like, man, they changed. When everything happens in social media, it's changed. Facebook changes, Google Plus changed recently, Jeremy, as you know.
Hmm.
Twitter changes. So
Hmm.
that's one thing we know about social media. But YouTube has really not changed that much. So I think the new design, one of the big opportunities for ministries is that you have a channel, something called a channel trailer. And, I've been making these with people and showing them in churches and ministries that you have 30 seconds or less to really tell people why they should subscribe. So I think it's going from YouTube, just a random, just mashup video, to channels where churches and ministries and people can be intentional
Hmm.
about getting subscribers. And then if you get subscribers, you get more viewers, and then more viewers hopefully lead to more engagement. And you want to bring those people from the video channel, to your congregation, to your ministry, and to help further your cause.
Very cool. So, for someone that is maybe getting new into video, whether they're a pastor, they're just an online blogger, or it's an entire church wanting to do something like this, what would you say are some of the first things that they need to be thinking about whenever they actually get into doing video and wanting to put stuff online?
Yeah, well, one of the things, I like the old Hollywood slogan goes, I say lights, camera, then action. So I'm really big about lights. So if you don't have a good lighting, you could always go to a Home Depot or Lowe's and get some cheap lights, some floodlights to just illuminate you. If you're doing a webcam video, you're doing something, you need to be seen. The
Hmm.
second thing that I do is the camera. And I know there are so many opinions on cameras. It's like cars. If you're looking for a car, there are people who like different cameras. I just say the best camera, and I think a blogger, a photographer says this, I think his name is Chase Jarvis, is that the best camera is a camera that you have.
Yeah.
And if it's your iPhone, if it's your iPad, if it's a webcam, and I've seen some amazing things done. I've done some great videos with iPhones. Actually, I shoot a lot of videos, believe it or not, with my iPhone. I have
Hmm.
an iPhone tripod, clamp, and I just put it right up, and the video comes out great.
Hmm.
So, and then I think it's all about just the content, the action, the third part, and the content is going to be key for any person, and to keep it short. There's so many things, Jeremy, as you know, competing for our attention online, and
Hmm.
especially with ministries, you want to make sure that it's not too long, but you want to grab people and then let them see another part. So I really love in YouTube how the new design has, you can see what's next, part one, part two, part three,
Yeah.
and you can set your channel up that way.
Very cool. And I know that a lot of people look at all of this and they want to see the big fancy stuff. They see barriers into getting into video and wanting to do stuff. Then they create these humongous strategies, and sometimes it's incorporating the way that they're doing church services as well as stuff online and all these different things. So I love the fact that you're just like, let's do it right, but let's get into it. And I know that for me that's a huge motto of let's actually do this, do it well, but let's try to get into it and to try to actually get stuff going. What would you say is for at least YouTube, and I know there's a lot of different reasons for doing video and length of time, what would you say is kind of the golden stamp as far as length of time for video content whenever you're putting on YouTube? For
You know,
churches, at least.
well, churches. I mean, a lot of churches on Vimeo, they use Vimeo to put their entire sermons on.
Mm.
So I really think that's a great thing because, but I think that if you see a lot of churches, Jeremy, you know that if they do a great intro, I mean, that has to pull you in.
Hmm.
I mean, there's nothing that in the first 10 seconds that I have not watched that wants to make me watch minute 25.
Yeah.
So it has to be in the first 15 to 20 seconds because if I don't grab you or tell you what the video is about or what's coming up, I don't
Hmm.
know. It's like a teaser. You know, whenever you watch, NBC a show, you see the teaser before the show comes on. So I think we have to get in the mindset of the church and ministries, you know, even though we have the good news, we have to make sure that we capture people where they
Hmm.
are. And I think sometimes we just think, well, we have a good sermon, a great preacher, and a great message, and that's going to just get people to join. Not really
Yeah.
in these day and age with all the competing things. And I think one thing I forgot to mention on the last question is that I want to tell you that another barrier for people getting into video is
Hmm.
themselves.
Hmm.
Because I know for me, I didn't like being on camera, but I figure if I want to help people about video, I have to be on camera. Even there are pastors and people who preach every weekend,
Yeah.
but they really don't like being on camera.
Definitely. Yeah, I love it, and I would even say simply just the ability to have that content to be able to put it up in and of itself is amazing, and like you said, to catch them right away is probably so intentional. If you are intentional about your videos, you're probably going to do it fairly well. There's probably always something you can improve, and I'm sure that they'll catch that from some of your stuff. So why don't you tell the people a little bit about stuff you're doing online, and just so that they can check out what you're doing.
Well, I have a few things online. One of my main video tutorial sites is Web Video Chefs. My partner Amani and I have a lot of tutorials, free tutorials for people. Also, have my personal blog where I blog about things of uh, the church and video and random things at chipdesard.com. And I guest blog a lot for Church Mag, and just try to empower people to not only make good videos with technical, but really the content. And I'm creating a series on YouTube for ministry. It should be out in the late summer or early fall, really for ministries to hone in to really use YouTube, because I believe that since Google always say that Google owns the river, but the river is search. And I think that if you have a good YouTube video channel and a good YouTube presence for your ministry, you can
Mhm.
really, really enhance it. And I think that ministries and nonprofits really will love this series that I'm creating about YouTube for ministry.
Very cool. And for me, I will say this: that I have a list of people I go to. I posted on Google Plus. Chip, you are my video guy, so you guys have to go and ask him questions.
Yeah.
Maybe not too much. Maybe don't flood him, but check out his stuff. I think you guys will really appreciate it. Have some new knowledge on how to do video well. So thank you so much for joining us, Chip. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll direct them to Chip. Just tell us, what do you guys think about video? How can you do it well? Maybe what are some of your fears with all of this? So we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.